Welcome to Gardening with Ben, the podcast where we dig into the soil of our gardens and the depths of our green thumbs. I'm your host Ben, here to guide you through the joys of gardening from sowing seeds to reaping bountiful harvests. Each episode will explore tips, tricks and tales from the garden and allotment, sharing insights from ourselves and stories from our own back garden adventures. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting your hands dirty for the first time, there's something here for everyone. So grab your brew and gardening gloves and let's get growing with Gardening with Ben. Hello and welcome to Make Your Seed List and Try New Things podcast by Gardening with Ben, the podcast that nurtures and gardening curiosity. Here we explore the endless possibilities of the plant world, the allotment, the garden, the classic favourites to the unusual plants and vegetables. Each episode will help you create your perfect seed list and encourage you to branch out into uncharted worlds. Whether you're a balcony gardener or have acres to play with, there's always something new to try. So grab your notebooks, grab your coffee, and let's cultivate a spirit of botanical adventure this year. So welcome back to Sunday's podcast, and I hope you've listened to Saturday's. There's a new podcast coming every day for the next few days, so make sure you click that follow button, click that subscribe button, and you will get notified when new podcasts come up. So these podcasts are going to be recorded on a regular basis now, and as you'll have noticed, we've had quite a few this year and certainly more than we had last year. So they're back in full swing. Everybody's enjoying them. The comments that I've been getting from people, the messages, everybody is happy that the gardening podcasts are back, and there's certainly a lot of you listening to them. It's so amazing seeing how many people listen to them. The stats are phenomenal. But thank you all for tuning back into these gardening podcasts, and I'm glad we've got them all back up and running again. There's plenty of podcast episodes on my playlist, so make sure you have a listen to them all. Over 200, going into 300 soon. But yeah, there's plenty of podcasts on there for you to listen to. So if you're feeling bored, have a listen. And it all helps towards my allotment journey. So in today's podcast, we're going to talk about seeds, trying new things and making those seed lists for this year, because it is getting to the time when we need to think about what we're going to be growing this year down in our allotments and gardens. So what I tend to do when I'm making my seed lists and planning for the year ahead, we are talking a lot about planning over these podcasts because it is time to do all the planning ready for this year. So it is a big subject to talk about. And rather than putting a massive episode, I'm putting them all into separate episodes for you to listen to each day. So what I usually do when I make my seed list is I'll write down all the seeds which I'm definitely going to grow, which are my general ones, which are usually sweet corn, courgettes, pumpkins, beetroot, lettuce, cabbages, cauliflowers. So yeah, and runner beans and peas, all the general normal ones, which you will tend to grow every year down at the plot. And whether it's to do with using the same varieties that you used to that have grown well in the past, or whether it's trying new varieties what have come out. And a lot of the time when you're buying your seeds, if you're looking in places like Wilco's, Wilco's is just starting to come back, but it's Wilco's seeds are now in the range, if you've not noticed that. So if you've got a range near you, they've got Wilco seeds in, or places like B&Q or garden centres, they'll tend to just have the general seeds which everybody knows about. They don't tend to have the weird and the wonderful ones which nobody's ever tried, and are sometimes the nicer ones to grow, to be honest. So sometimes when you're wanting to try out these weird and wonderful varieties, the best way of looking for them is sometimes on gardening websites. You'll find different varieties and different plants to try to grow down at your allotment or in the garden. Or another way is ordering a seed catalogue and from like well-known brands of seeds, and often they'll have sections where there's new varieties to try or varieties which you've never even heard of, or vegetables you've never even heard of. That is the best way to try and find new stuff to grow down at the allotment. And trying these weird and wonderful varieties is sometimes a lot better, to be honest, because I've used this uh, comment many a times. Is that I once tried growing purple cauliflower down at my allotment because I tried white cauliflower and I never got good results. So I thought I'm going to try purple cauliflower. I'd got a packet of seeds given to me, so I gave them a try, and they were the best cauliflowers that I've ever grown in my life down at my allotment. So since then, I've stuck to growing purple cauliflowers, and the results of them were absolutely fantastic. And I'll never go back to growing white ones now. I'll just stick to the purple variety. And maybe I'll try growing the purple Brussels sprouts because they may taste a lot nicer than the green ones, but we never know. But yeah, that is a tend to thing. One thing that I tend to try and do when doing allotments is trying new stuff every year down at the plot. I like to try something different each year down at the plot, whether it be new varieties of squash or different varieties of squash, different types of beans, different coloured beetroots, different coloured radishes. It's always good to try new stuff, and that's what I've done over the past few years. Like last year, I grew different varieties of squash, which were fun, interesting. Trying loads of different types of squash, like your butternut squash, your Turkish squash, your pumpkins, your um, yeah, everything, all different types and varieties. And then one year I tried different types of beans. I got yellow beans, I got purple beans, I got black beans, I got the normal green beans, and it was good to try all different varieties. So, what different thing are you going to try and grow at your plot this year? If you've got an idea of growing something different that you've never tried before, let me know, send me a message. It's always good to hear what people are wanting to try and grow down at their allotments. So it's good ways of trying different things. And another way that I try new things is that I have gardening magazines, and I have the Kitchen Garden magazine and the Grow Your Own magazine. And in those magazines, you usually get 10 packets of seeds in each magazine. So imagine getting those magazines 12 times a year. That's 120 packets in one magazine. And others, so it's like 240 packets of seeds in a year. And there'll be plenty of stuff in them seed packets that you would never go into the shop and purchase that packet of seeds, because you'd think I'm not spending that money on them seeds when I don't need them. And obviously you do get them with the magazines. So it's a good way of trying new stuff. And in these magazines there are some unusual stuff what come with them. Some stuff that you would never actually try and taste or try and grow. But usually what I do with these seeds is that I try them. I just sow them. I've nothing to lose. Obviously, I've paid for the magazine and it's paid for the seeds. So I might as well just sprinkle them in some compost, see if they come, plant them out, and fill up a gap on my allotment garden. You're not losing any money by planting them. So you can try them, and you never know. You might absolutely love and try them. So if you're wanting to try different types of seeds this year, is my advice is get them magazines, Grow Your Own and Kitchen Garden magazine, and you'll get plenty of varieties to try in them. Or again, go through the seed catalogues and put a cross next to everything that you want to try this year and give it a try. It's nothing to lose. If you do fail, you can try and try again. I've been trying and trying again with carrots every year, but one year I will grow some good carrots. And when I do grow some good carrots, you will see that picture coming every day on my Instagram profile. I'll be showing off that carrot to the rest of the world, and hopefully we'll get a good result coming through. So yeah, yesterday we talked about making plans for your weekend and making those lists for down at the allotment. Today we've been talking about making the list of seeds what we're going to grow for the year. And I think it's been a productive weekend this weekend. And hopefully tomorrow's episode we'll be talking about catching up with gardening with Ben. What have we been up to at the allotment? What have we been up to? What have we been doing? Because we've been off the last 3 days, so we've got hopefully got plenty of work done. I have pre-recorded this episode before I've been to the allotment on Saturday and Sunday, but the catch up with gardening with Ben will be recorded on Sunday, so then it will be up to date and you'll be able to find out exactly what I've been up to down at the plot, and you will all be up to date with as far as I'm up to date. So I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. Remember to click that follow and that subscribe button. Leave some feedback on the podcast as well on Apple and Spotify. You can leave ratings and it does help push me out. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep shining and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. And that wraps up another episode of Gardening with Ben. Thank you for joining me in this journey. Remember, every seed planted is a step towards a greener world, and every day is a chance to grow something beautiful. Keep nurturing your gardens and your souls. Until next time, I'm Gardening with Ben, reminding you to let your garden be your sanctuary. Happy gardening and see you in the next episode. Remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben.